so the question was why the Prime Minister wasn't also named as a defendant.
That's a good idea. There is not any direct legal line from what happened on the streets to the Prime Minister using ordinary legal ideas. So we haven't done that. I think we agree that, many people agree that it's a big issue, and that may have been one of the causes for the whole thing. However, by suing the RCMP, because they were part of the unified command, and by including in the lawsuit not only the actions of individual officers who, arrested you or whatever, but also by including the command structure and saying there was negligence in management and direction, both of the Toronto Police and of the RCMP, we might start getting behind some of those things that happen at higher level.
So I'm going to apologize for breaking out of the format, but there's one other thing that I know Marie and I wanted to convey to people that's really important. Class action is one of your options, but not the only option. And I don't know whether they can tape this portion. I know we're in the Q&A, but it's important to get this information, I believe, out to everybody. The class action can be taking place while you do a human rights complaint, at least in our view. And as Kathy and the other people were saying, you may want to get some advice on how to frame how to discuss your various issues, but we believe they can coexist. Small claims court actions, private prosecutions, the complaints through the police process itself. We believe all of those can occur simultaneously. And some of the other class actions we've been involved in, there's been other processes underway, all at the same time. It's, I think, very important to realize that everybody should do what they think is best for them, and we'll deal with how to manage it from the legal end.
What if the class action was successful? What would be the outcome in terms of police action or any kind of punishment to the police?
Layoffs.
Again, our legal system understands monetary compensation, financial compensation the best. So one of the things that the claim that we put together is asking the court to do is award punitive, exemplary, aggravated type damages. That is the court's signal to the community that the behavior that's occurred is not acceptable. So that's probably the most direct thing. We are also likely going to be asking for declarations. So the court will be saying, as a matter of public record, that if the plaintiff is successful, that your rights were violated and your charter rights and freedoms were breached as part of this. We hope that that will also send a very clear message to the police and to the country that things were not right.
Okay, so the question was, all the people were included in the class. How are they represented? Are they represented through Sherry? And the answer is yes. Okay, so the question was, if you were arrested and there was a formal charge, but that charge was dismissed or otherwise disappeared, would you become a member of the class?
It's a possibility, and we'll have to look at those situations one by one. Yeah. And part of the idea behind a class action is there should be, as Eric said, commonality, enough that's in common or the same, so that the court can handle them as a group. But once you get individual significant criminal charges, you move away from that, and so it's possible that they would fit then if the charges are dropped. It's possible not. We're going to have to look at that on an ongoing basis.
Okay, so the question was, if you have photos or video of stuff that happened during the week, is it beneficial for Eric and Murray for you to submit those, or is that something that should happen later on? The answer is yes. Yes.
We have a face recognition software that we can use through the website.
Okay, so the place to do that, I guess, is on the website then. The question is, what is the definition of detained, and does that include assault?
It might or it might not. I mean, if you, it gets into details of legal definition, but if you were grabbed and held, then your freedom was constrained and probably you crossed the line into being detained. If you were just hit with a so-called baton, which is really a club, I don't know. I mean, it depends on exactly what happened. So it's possible, yes, possible, no. We didn't look in detail at potential cases of police assault. I guess that's a possibility. That did not seem to be the main large number of problem areas, but it's possible that that's something that's best pursued through an individual lawsuit.
What do people do if they don't know whether they fall within the definition of the class? And is that something that is determined kind of up front or later on in the process?
Generally speaking, the first step in the process is to get certified, which is the legal jargon that we've been trying to not get into, but where the court says, in principle, we believe that this claim should move forward. That process will take some real time. Only after that will the court then start to want to know, the name and the address of each individual class member. So what will end up happening is this. You will have the opportunity to be individually involved in that determination. Hopefully at some point in time, it's just going to be after the certification process. In the meantime, I guess there really are two practical options. You can consult with a lawyer, and as Kathy mentioned, in Toronto alone, there's 19 legal aid clinics. They may be able to assist in some way or guide you to somebody. The Law Society of Upper Canada has a lawyer referral service that gives you a half-hour consultation on the phone. That may be another opportunity. Or you can certainly email us, and we will do our best to either respond directly or put you in touch with somebody who may be able to help.
Questions, I think, in that one is sort of what does it mean to have a representative plaintiff? And the second would be how are these, if there are other class actions that come up, how are these going to get sorted out?
The way the system here in the province of Ontario works is that the representative plaintiff, in this case Sherry, and her legal advisors define the class, and then the court reviews whether that's a good definition or whether we got it wrong, kind of thing. So as people in this room, you will not need to do anything yourself. You can choose to do something and contact us, but you don't have to. You will automatically be part of the claim if you fall within the definition that we have proposed. The second question about other class actions, this happens, on a fairly regular basis, that you get more than one claim started. I think it's fair to say that the court will likely assist all of us in figuring that issue out, but we have had some contact and are generally aware of the other claim and believe that ultimately the team that has been put together in relation to this claim is in a very good position to assist the class and assist the court, so we are certainly going to be moving forward with it.
Last comment. As Eric says, the legal structure for a class action is a bit odd in the sense that you folks may be deemed to be in it once the judge certifies it, and yet you almost don't have to do anything for months, or given that there can be appeals on these things, for a year. We don't mean to suggest that you just do nothing. Personally, I think it would be a good thing for you folks who might be, plaintiffs whose situation just cries out for a class action solution. But my suggestion would be you continue to support the organizational work of the Movement Defense Committee. You continue to push for a full and proper public judicial inquiry. There are different things you can do. Don't just let it drop. Sherry could have just said, I'm going to get over this and get on with my life. She's actually committed herself, after a great deal of thought, to what could be years and years of responsibility, and she's doing it for the good of all of us, for the good of our country, for the good of our kids. I could go on and on, for the good of the universe.